Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 14th, and we're on our way to Kroger's. I didn't walk this morning because it is very cold. It's 21 degrees, but with the wind chill, it's 10, and there's still like patches of ice. So my plan is just to walk around in Kroger's and hopefully not spend a lot of money. And then trying to figure out what I'm going to have to eat today. I'm thinking I'm going to have a piece of chicken and a baked potato for dinner, or I'm going to have some chicken with some broccoli, cauliflower, and peppers and do it as stir fry. So I'm trying to decide. I don't know which one yet I'm going to have, but I'm thinking on that. I'm definitely going to get some chicken, and I'm definitely getting all the other stuff. So it'll just be what my mood strikes me when it's time. Will it be easier just to throw it in the oven and cook it that way, or stir fry it? I don't know. It's a mystery. We'll have to wait. No plans other than that today. Jim and David shoot on archery, so I'll be cooking for myself yet again, which is not a big deal. I'm hoping that maybe because the sun is starting to come out, that maybe later on I can go for a walk. Like I said, the cold doesn't bother me. It's the ice. I don't want to fall, break a hip. At my age, I can't afford to break a hip. And trying to think of what we could talk about. What can we talk about? Suggestions? Any suggestions from you? I'm trying to catch up on my videos. I've fallen so far behind. I feel bad for Amy over at Anna's for Nurse because she so wants to get some stickers, and her Weight Watchers doesn't hand out stickers. And so, like, I told her what I do is, well, we still get the 5-pound stickers, but we don't get the charms like everybody else gets. So it's like a trade-off. But I use little stars that I put in my book when I have a weight loss, and I'm going to keep doing that. It's weird, the shadow that's on there, but you don't seem to be bouncing as much. And they had a report on the news yesterday that to fix the roads in Michigan, not just the main roads, not the secondary roads, the main roads, they allot $200 million a year for repairs, but to get them back up into full shape like they should be, just the main roads, I think it was $2 billion a year that they need to allot. So I don't see that happening. So we'll just have to put up with the bumpiness, I guess. At first I thought it was my shocks in my car, but when I drive with people with newer cars like Birdie and Denise, there's bounces just as much. So, and you know, my car's paid for. I don't want to have another car payment, and it gets me to where I want to go. And I've only got 62,000 miles on it, and I've had the car for 8 years, and for 3 of those years I was working and I was traveling round trip almost 100 miles a day for my job. So I think I got some wear and tear left on this car for a while that I don't have to really worry. I'd like the fancier gizmos, but you know, the little short little jaunts that I go on, I don't really need all that hoopla stuff, although I'd like it. My dream would be to win the lottery and design my own house, and I would hire a chef. I love to cook, but it's nice to sit down at a meal and that somebody else is prepared. It's just me. That's why I like eating out so much. I just wish it wasn't so laden with sodium and stuff. You could eat out. Well, I can't afford to eat out as much like I did before. And not that I could before. I always used my credit card, so I really couldn't afford it. But I don't use my credit card anymore because this is my year to get out of debt. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to think if I could tell you a story, but I can't think of any right offhand. You know, they gotta just hit me like the record player hit me yesterday. Yeah, can't think of any. I think I told you the story once about with Jim and his brother. We were up at the Algonac State Park, and he brought Tom brought his girlfriend Jackie, and then Jim and I. And Jim had brought a blanket, and Jim's parents had gone to the store to get some food or whatever, and Jim and I were laying on the blanket and, you know, doing what young loves do, but out in public, so it was, you know, like limited. And Tom wanted to have the blanket, and Jim said, no, I brought the blanket. And he says, well, you wouldn't have been able to bring the blanket if you didn't come in my car. And then they started arguing back and forth, and then Tom kept playfully kicking Jim, but then the playfulness kind of went away, and it started just into full-blown kicking. And so as he was kicking him, he kept laughing at him. And then Jim got up and he said, you think it's funny? You think it's funny? And he ran over to Tom's brand new Wildcat, and he kicked in the side panel. And then he says, I think that's pretty funny. Tom didn't think that was pretty funny. Tom went ballistic. So Jim went running away, and Tom went trying to catch him, and he couldn't catch him because Jim was pretty fast. So Tom got in his car, and in the campground park was chasing Jim with the car. And Jim would stand in the middle of the road and taunt Tom, and then Tom would try to hit him with the car. It was just, you know, like when rage takes over. It's just a scary thing, and rage had taken over, and he was trying to hit Jim. Well, the park rangers called the state police, and so the state police closed off the park while they went in to try to catch whoever this idiot was that was doing this. And so Jim's parents were just getting back from the store, and they wouldn't let him in, and they were explaining to him why they were in there, and they said, well, I hope you catch them, and whoever they are, you throw the book at them. And just then the state police are coming by, and she looks in the back seat, and there's Jim and Tom sitting in the back seat of the car. She was pissed. So she talked to the police officer. They agreed that they were going to come home, that she was going to send them home. But then when she got back, she thought she couldn't send them both home because they'd kill each other. So she told Tom to take me home. Well, Tom didn't know how to get home, and it was very foggy when we left that night. And I told him to turn right when we should have turned left. And we ended up in Port Huron, which is probably, at the time, was probably about maybe 75 miles from my house. When we reached Port Huron and Tom realized that we had gone the wrong way, he was so pissed, and he got on the expressway to come home. And we made it home in the fog from Port Huron, 75 miles, in a little over a half hour. It was so scary. I've never been so scared in my life, and I, for the longest time, would not get back in the car with him. How we made it home alive is beyond me, because I don't even think it was a half an hour. He was just going so fast, and I was so scared. And so then right after that, Jim got his own car. But he had to pay for Tom's car. That was his punishment. He had to pay for it. Even though he had a deductible, Jim's mother wouldn't let him. Jim had to pay the whole thing. She wanted to teach him a lesson. So now it's a memory we have. So, okay, we're here at Kroger's. Enough of the babbling. Let's go get some shopping done. Well, I should point out that yesterday when I said I had 2 points left over, I forgot to count my chili. So I ended up right on the nose. But here's my breakfast this morning. So I started my day with a prayer. I drank 50 ounces of water. My quote is, weight loss is a lot like driving. If you veer off the road, just make a U-turn and head back in the right direction. 24 smart points. 0 for my berries, my grapefruit, my banana, my tea, my water, and my eggs. 3 for my 4 slices of center cut bacon. 1 for my 1 teaspoon of peanut butter. And 3 for my whole grain English muffin. So it is a 7-point breakfast, so I have 17 points left for the rest of the day. Still trying to decide what I'm going to have for dinner. Well, guess what? I got my walk in. I was watching videos this afternoon, and Kelly from Freedom in a Budget and Anita over at Chit Chat Paddywhack were bragging about how I walk no matter what the weather. And here I was sitting in my big old butt watching TV. Well, actually watching YouTube videos, but still, I watch them on my TV. And I thought, no, you need to get out and walk. I don't like walking after I've eaten. It slows me down a little bit. But I did walk 2.1 miles, and so now I have 2, 3, 5, 6. I've walked 94.25 miles. Oh no, I have 94.25 miles to go. So I've walked 6.75 miles in the last 3 days. So I'm doing pretty good. And I have my hat that Valerie Reese made me, so I had no excuses because I was very warm. And so now I'm going to feed my birds, and then I think I'm going to have chicken with a baked potato. And I got to get that in the oven now. So I'm just glad I got my walk in, although it is cold. I'm not going to lie to you. It is cold, but I'm glad I went. Okay, we're going to have dinner now. I have a baked potato with some broccoli and chicken. I used the everything but the bagel seasoning mix, and tea and water. So it's 0 for my chicken, my tea, the water, the broccoli. 5 points, I have a tablespoon of butter on my potato. 3 points for 2 tablespoons of sour cream. 5 points for my baked potato. And 3 points for my 3 tablespoons of cheese. So it's a 16-point dinner, and I have 1 point left over. Well, it's a lot of food, but I'm hungry. Okay, that's it for tonight. The only plans I have for tomorrow is I'm going to go pick up Birdie, and we're going to go for Barb's care meeting. Kind of give us a review of what's to expect and how much longer she can stay there and all that other good stuff. Look at the glare in my eyes again. I stayed on plan. I was so glad I got my walk in. It just makes me feel so much better when I can walk. I mean, it's cold, and I probably, well, the meeting's early in the morning, so I probably won't be able to do the walk until I get home in the afternoon. Like I said, I don't really like walking after I've eaten. I like to walk on an empty stomach, other than my water. But, I got it in. That's all that matters. So, that's about it, I guess, for now. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow.